Okay, Jared, who has worked side by side with our beloved Danny on the design of the Dream Arc Oracle, which is something people have been asking about and for years. A hard copy version of the Dream Arc Oracle deck with 192 cards of all the animals that people can hold in their hands, the full Animal Codex book, a gorgeous cloth version of the Life Web, and more. It's been quite a complex project to design, and we're just so grateful to have you on our team, Jared, representing the Dreamers with such grace and flexibility. So, is there something you would like to share about your own dreamer animal or any animal, and any way in which this being is reflective or inspiring of your process of bringing the Oracle deck to life in the physical world?
Yes, Rosie, thank you. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. When I first received the invitation, I started feeling into kind of where I am in my relationship with the Dream Arc and feeling into what I may be inspired to share. And what came to me, I'm gonna give a little bit of a backstory and then tell you a little bit of an experience and then tie it all together. Um, what came to me were memories that I have of a young boy who knew himself as a royal wizard alchemist who could transpose matter and work miracles. And so that's who I was when I was younger. And then I had this experience, which many of you listening to this may be able to relate to, where in my adolescence, in response to my environment, some of those kind of magical, inspired qualities began to become dormant. And I was trading those off for becoming more rational and focused and ambitious and grounded. And so I went to school and studied architecture, which is kind of a way to express creatively, but it's also very rational and structured. But about a decade ago, I had a series of experiences that were undeniable, that cracked me open in a way that I began to open up spiritually and creatively in ways I hadn't in a while. And it was natural during that time for me to seek out teachings and teachers that were intuitive, beyond the known, to kind of help me in that journey. And I remember a couple of the teachers and some specific things they said, which have really informed my journey over these last 10 years. One was that my work was to enhance my receptivity. And another was that I had tremendous intuition. And her advice was for me to learn to trust that, to grow into trusting it. So, flash forward to last week. And I'll say that before this journey, a teaching like the Gene Keys or the Dream Arc, I wouldn't have been receptive to it. So I've done a lot of work to get here to this place where it's almost like these teachings have found me and they're calling me to them. So last week we were within the Dream Arc Oracle design team, we were emailing back and forth about which animals wanted to be represented on the box for the Oracle deck. So I was scrolling through some of the mock-ups and I paused on the mock-up that included the toad. For some reason, I was drawn to that toad. And I thought about it a minute and then I went on about my work. And the next morning, I was walking my dog early in the morning on a route that we've walked hundreds of times. And right there in the middle of the sidewalk is this gigantic toad staring me in the face. And at first I was like, I don't know if my dog's going to respond to it or how I'm going to get around or if it's going to hop off. But somehow he was steady in his focus on me, and I honored him and walked around. And later that afternoon, when I got home, I looked into the codex and realized that the toad represents gene key 57, which is intuition. And that's my core wound. And I have the second line, which means denial. So I have denied my intuition in the past. And I think the toad was reminding me that this field of information and inspiration and intelligence is always there for us, always willing to support us. And specifically within the context of the Dream Arc, and thank you for the word dreamer, reminding me that although I see my role as a service role in bringing everything together that you guys have already created, that I can also participate as a dreamer and be open to, and again, not get caught up in my rational left brain, and be open to what wants to come through. So thank you so much for having me and letting me be a part of this.
Thank you, Jared. That's beautiful as well. And it's a lovely one to just bring things to a close here, because animal or creature encounters like that, when you meet something directly on the path in front of you, is like a real symbol and a very obvious message that, you know, and working with the dream arc gives us a lot of opportunity to play with what that might mean, and you know, whether we find our answer in the codex or whether we find it in our intuition and imagination, or somewhere else through our creativity. I love that. And I'm very grateful you brought that up. And I love all the work you've been doing and how deeply you've been following your intuition and trusting in it. And that's, of course, the essence of this work. So, yeah, thank you.